I mean, he's Kevin Durant.
I promise we tried.
We didn't roll over. And we didn't just say, hey, man, you know what? Just come on, give us 50 tonight. Of course not.
We tried everything. So we tried everything. We had several different coverages for KD, and
they didn't work.
The Warriors have played a total of 290 games since Kevin Durant joined the team. They've averaged 1.16 points per possession in those games. The overall league average in that time has been 1.09. Like Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley said, you can try different coverages and schemes, but at the end of the day, they still have Kevin Durant. Not to mention some of the other guys on their team that also play at a high level. But are the Warriors to the point where it doesn't even matter at all who the opposing defense is? Well, let's take a look at just the 50 games against the absolute best defenses in the league since KD joined the team. In those specific games, the Warriors have scored 1.12 points per possession. So in general, there is a correlation between opponent strength and the Warriors' offense, but it's a pretty weak one. The Warriors have been held under 0.9 points per possession in 7 games since the arrival of KD. Twice during the 2017 season, 5 times last year, but none so far this season. And to be fair, the Warriors have been missing superstars in 5 out of those 7 games, which means that the worst offensive performances for the full-strength Warriors both came in November of the 2017-18 season against the Celtics and Thunder. But it's all relative when determining a game plan to guard the Warriors. You're not going to simply shut them down over the course of a 7-game series. But the Rockets coaching staff will try to develop a scheme and make decisions to marginally move the needle against the Warriors. These two teams know each other well, and we have a pretty good idea of what the Rockets will try. Against all of the Warriors' off-ball motion, the Rockets play aggressive and physical, with a focus on switching and denying. Coaches often associate switching as lazy or the easy way out, but that's not the case with the Rockets. They're disruptive and aggressive with their switches, using them to get into passing lanes and to try to force turnovers. The aggressive switches don't come without risk though. Here the Warriors have motion on the weak side as Draymond is setting a ball screen. Focus too much on denying and switching on the weak side and Draymond gets a dunk on the roll. Focus too much on the roll and a shooter might break free. Here's the counter to the Rockets' style of defense. As we saw before, Harden's job on this pin down is to jump out on Curry for a switch and deny. But watch what the Warriors do with the screener, who in this case is Kevon Looney, to try to disrupt the switch. Harden sniffs out the slip and stays with Looney instead of jumping out on Curry. The switching will lead to bigs being in situations they aren't accustomed to. Fareed does jump out and deny initially, but you have to stay up and get out farther if you get switched onto Steph. No surprise, but it's really hard to guard off-ball action when Steph's involved. Draymond slips, but this time both Rivers and Tucker gravitate to Curry. Curry as the screener is equally as dangerous. This is essentially the opposite of last play, with both Rivers and Paul staying with the screener instead of jumping out to deny. The slips and backdoors are always a threat against the Rockets' defensive denials and gambles. The Warriors will likely get at least a few layups a game beating the pressure. So your question now might be, why switch and deny in the first place if you're going to give up layups? The problem is the alternatives all have issues as well. Here the Rockets lock and trail on the Curry off-ball action, which is usually the most common way to guard a pin down. Rivers is at least able to fight through and stay even with Curry, but his work's not done. After all that chasing around and screen fighting, now you have to close out and guard the ball. Same thing here with the Clippers and Durant. Beverley actually goes under the screen and is able to get in theoretically a good guarding position on Durant, but it's still a difficult closeout against maybe the best scorer in the world. Be on the lookout for more playoff breakdowns coming soon.